What is up, everybody? Happy Monday evening. For those of us who are on this side of the world, some people are on the other side of the world, so it might be Tuesday morning. I have no idea. I didn't check the time zone difference for you, Jeffrey Beats, but what's up, everybody? An impromptu master study stream for starting this Frank Miller master study. My name is Rocky Ballesteros, and lo and behold, we're doing a stream on the first day of the week, which is pretty exciting. I had a full day of just getting stuff done and a bunch of errands, and it's always something. That like to-do list just grows and grows and grows every day. But I was able to get some good stuff done today and get a couple work things done, and then I was like, I was thinking of streaming this week. I mean, not this week, streaming this afternoon, but then my schedule got a little janky. But then I was like, I'm gonna clear out my space this evening. I'm gonna make sure I'm awake enough to do this, and let's crack into this master study. So I'm really excited about this. For those of you who are joining me for the very first time, if you've never seen me do this before, this is what I call a master study, and it usually gets spread out over a few live streams, but basically what I'm doing is recreating a page from a comic book master who I admire and who the chat helps vote on what page I do. In this particular case, I'm doing a page from Frank Miller's run on Daredevil in the 80s, which is a wide run. And so we had a lot to choose from. There were 3 different pages that we were voting on last week. Or maybe it was the week before last even. But it was from, there was a page that I picked from Daredevil and Punisher, the or the miniseries that he did. And then I picked a page from Daredevil, the Elektra Saga, which is amazing. And then I also picked another page from Daredevil, Marked for Death. And all of these were in the 80s when Frank Miller was just like totally reinventing Daredevil and just making him better than I'd ever seen him. And just such a, like taking a C-level, B-level character and like raising his game to like top tier. And I think it just fit Frank Miller's tendencies and his influences really well. He just injected this like noir, hard-boiled kind of feel to a character, this grit, and just told some amazing stories. So the page that was voted on, that won, was from the Elektra Saga. And what I do is then I take that page, blow it up to size, roughly as best of like original size that it was drawn at, as best as I can. And then I recreate it, starting from the blank page, penciling, which is what we're going to start doing, like blocking the page, the frames, and the panels, and then just blocking in the shapes, and then move all the way through the inking process to have a final page done by the end of these streams. So the last master study I did was a Jim Steranko page from Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that turned out great. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that my background gets a little not a little blurred. It's intentionally blurred, but there it is. The Steranko page, just put it up on my bulletin board here. This was a Mobius page I did before. Barry Windsor Smith cover from Weapon X. An Eisner page. I'm running out of space. I had to put it, I hung up my Zek page over here. You guys can't see off camera. I did a Michael Golden page, and was that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, those are 6. I've done 6 of these so far. So this is the 7th page that we're starting today, which is awesome and amazing that we've already come this far. So I'm really excited. Frank Miller is one of my all-time favorite comic book artists, and different eras of Frank Miller, like not just the 80s, but the 90s, 2000s, and even now 2020s. I just love Frank Miller. I feel like he's just the whole package of comic book, like just one of the best creators out there. So really admire his work, and I've hesitated to try and do a master study of his until now. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really exciting. But let's see who's here. I mean, I know who first came in here. Comrade Sammy came in here. Oh wait, I'm shooting the fat. This is what I like to call shooting the fat. Oh shoot. Why did this move down here? Why did this move down here? All right, I'm gonna move it up here. Always does this to me. Comrade Sammy, whoops. She said, don't know I can stick around very long for this one, but I'll be first anyway, Comrade Sammy. Dedicated to being first here for all of us. She might fall asleep though, so... And it might be my ASMR voice that she says. Might put her to sleep, but that's okay. I'm glad to do that for you, Comrade Sammy. You know, I'm going to be putting on some horrible YouTube tunes in a minute here as I start drawing, coupled with my kind of like phlegmy ASMR voice. It's good times. That's a recipe for falling asleep. But hopefully it won't put this guy to sleep. Jeffrey Beats, what's up?
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
We don't want to put him to sleep because he is not, it's not nighttime where he is, right? Jeffrey Beats. You know, we don't want to put you to sleep in case you might be working or driving or whatever it is. That would not be good. But great to see you. Went to a comic book convention this weekend, and we were talking about this one of the streams before that you were potentially going to see Whilce Portacio there, which Whilce Portacio is one of my heroes, one of the great creators, artists, Marvel Comics, and also one of the founders of Image Comics. Incredible series he did with Image Comics called Wetworks. And he just kills it. Like, he's just one of the best. When that whole like 90s Image era, like he was right up there with Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, all those guys. So that's awesome. He said you did meet him and he was awesome, which is great. And you got 7 Uncannies signed. That's awesome. At least he did. It doesn't sound like he had a limit to that. Tom Taylor, got to meet Tom Taylor too. That's awesome. That's awesome too. Brilliant guy. That's great. So good. I haven't been to a convention in a long time. I'm due. I'm definitely due to go to a convention. I have mentioned this before. They used to have a regular convention here in the Bay Area called WonderCon, but because it's so freaking expensive to rent the convention center here, they moved it down to LA. It's also expensive to, like, hotels are expensive up here. Everything is just more expensive up here. And LA is more equipped with their hotels. Vegas is also a good location for conventions. And San Diego, obviously, with San Diego Comic-Con. So I haven't been to a comic book convention in a long time. They did have Fan Expo here recently, but I didn't make it there. And actually Frank Miller was there, but you had to pay for like the Frank Miller experience to be able to like meet him or whatever. So anyway, I think I'm due. I'm really due. I love walking the floor, meeting indie creators, meeting heroes, and yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. Just a heads up, Comrade Sammy says, Shant's abrupt ending to his trailer Rocky beat. Yes, I know. I've yet to add the extra black, fade to black at the end. I need to do that myself, but I'm a little used to it now. I kind of like feel the music building up to the cut, and then I just like jump in there. So thank you for the forewarning, Comrade Sammy. I knew nothing about, now a huge fan of Tom Taylor. That's awesome. That's great. Was that the best stuff? Was meeting those guys? Did you get to pick up anything new? How many days? Let us know. Jeffrey Beats, like, give us all the deets. Beats, give us the deets. Hey, look at that. He was ready this time. I was. MD Houghton. It's Miller time. That's right. It is Miller time. Not like Bud Miller time, or beer Miller time. That wouldn't be good. I don't know. Has anybody done, like, I've heard of drink and draws, but I don't know if anybody's live streamed drink and draws. That would be difficult. I have tea though. I can do tea. I've got a plethora of cough drops because dang it, my allergies are still making me cough. So excuse me if I like have a little cough drop tucked in my cheek as we go. But I took cough medicine, and then as you know, if you talk a lot, you end up coughing a lot. So yeah, that would not be fun for a stream. K-pop junkie, what's up, K-pop? K-pop is always floating out there, poking her head in. When she's not working, she's lurking. Tuesday afternoon for Jeffrey Beats. Okay. Wow, Tuesday afternoon. It's not even like a... I guess it... Yeah. I guess it is. Tuesday afternoon. That makes sense. Well, we don't want you to fall asleep, so... It was a magical time, MD Houghton says. Comrade Sammy says, my phone's going to die, as will my eyeballs sooner or later. Maybe that's your excuse. It's like, oh, batteries. No worries, Comrade Sammy. If you got to go, you got to go. But thank you for coming anyway. You going to make the 10th Master Study You Do special, Rocky? Oh my gosh. Are you always setting these bars for me? I'm just trying to do my own thing, just get into a groove, and there's always these like bars, these goals. First it was 100 subscribers and 200 subscribers, 250. You know where we're at now? I think it's 5. Let me look here. Where are we at? I think it's 518 maybe, which is awesome. Incredible. I have been posting some I posted some shorts recently over the weekend and today. They did really well. Just shorts, like I usually do these 15-second comic shorts where I'm just kind of in 15 seconds describing what's going on in the comic. And yeah, they got a lot of views this weekend, so that was awesome. Yeah, 518 people. That's amazing. 518. I can't believe it. Let's keep going. But am I going to do something special for the 10th Master Study? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll find out. Frank Miller's one of my faves too. Jeffrey Beat says, awesome. Have his book. Which book? There's a lot of Frank Miller books out there. He went off the rails during Sin City. Great art, terrible proportions. Wow, MD Houghton. That's a bold statement, my friend. I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think that, I mean, there's a love-hate with Frank Miller's work. And I've heard it all. I've heard it from all angles, especially with his recent stuff that he does. But this guy always surprises me. And I don't know if you watched the Frank Miller film, the documentary on his life. I got to see it in the theater and actually live streamed. You can see it on my channel. I live streamed like walking into the theater, and they only showed it for one day in the theaters, at least where I was. And my understanding is they were showing it simultaneously for that one day all over the country here in America. And what they did, if you go to the theaters and if you went to the theaters and watched it, what they did was they showed a live interview with Frank Miller. He was being interviewed by Rosario Dawson, who was an actress in Sin City, and just talking with him. But so yeah, I live streamed that all the way up through the like Q&A, and then when the film started, I turned off the live stream. So go check it out. But the great thing about that documentary and why I bring it up is like it gives you an insight of just the ups and downs of his personal life that was tied to his career. And, you know, a lot of people say like his current art style is like he's struggling with health issues, and he probably is. He was like an alcoholic for a long time, probably did a lot of drugs and alcohol over the course of his career. But I just admire the guy for like just always like pushing the envelope and evolving and changing and still breaking a lot of like just new ground with the stuff he does. So And I've said this before too, like, not only was he a great illustrator or is a great illustrator, but his storytelling is just like bar none, on a different level. So I even feel like as he maybe, gets older and loses some of the rendering or the cool art style, in what he does, he still can tell a great story. So that's what I believe, and I'm sticking with it. But I don't think he went off the rails for Sin City. I think some of the Sin City stories I didn't like necessarily, but some of them were like some of his best work in that I've seen. So, but his '80s, what we're doing today, his '80s style, specifically with Daredevil, was kind of what you were used to with comics, but he just was like really pushing the storytelling in it. It was just making it so like edgy and adult and gritty, and yeah, he was just doing so much stuff. So I love this era of Frank Miller, the '80s era of Frank Miller. That was just brilliant stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll do another master study of a different era of Frank Miller, because it's so different. Like, I can't even imagine if I was doing like a master study during that Sin City era. That would be crazy. Or like Ronin, or like Dark Knight. Like, they're all so different. Like, if I could just accomplish one of those styles in my lifetime, it would be amazing. But he's done it for so many different styles. It's like he's lived like 6 different lives in comic terms. Jeffrey Beat says, I hope I'm not excuse me. I hope I'm not a bogan, maybe 2% bogan. Will Spertaccio charged $15 each for rare ones, $10 for not rare. Oh, who determined what was rare? He did. Still, I would have paid double because I will probably never see him again. Yeah, I'd say $10, $15. That's not too bad. Some artists do, free, or limit you, like the first 5 are free and then they charge after. But that's not too bad. I would say I would do it if I had some books that I wanted him to sign. I'd pay that. Cons are the best. K-pop junkie says, I went for one long day. Went to the panel with Will Spertaccio. Awesome. What kind of tea do you got? It's a blood orange tea, Comrade Sammy. I tried to avoid caffeine. Because sometimes if I drink caffeine right now, then I won't be able to sleep. Well, that's not true, but yeah, I'll have a harder time sleeping. So I try to go non-caffeinated. I think it's a rooibos blood orange tea. Is that right? Yes, herbal tea, blood orange red. MD Houghton says, I've been drinking for a few hours. Been a good Monday so far. Nice. I'm the designated driver. Drink up, MD Houghton. I can't draw straight though if I ever drink. I'm not a drinker to begin with, but I can't imagine I would. I have a hard enough time drawing a straight line without any alcohol in my system, let alone with alcohol in my system. He told me what he believes in the way to improve Marvel. Oh, cool. There's been quite a bit of commentary out there. I saw. I follow Rob Liefeld on X, and he's always kind of spouting off his opinion and commentary. Love the guy. I just love, like, again, he's one of those creators that just kind of just puts it all out there. He's like kind of a singular style, and yeah, I just love what he's done for the industry and kind of the things he's achieved. But he was talking about, oh gosh, who was it that was commenting? But they were just saying how, I'm just gonna read it. Let me find it. This is worth the discussion. Because it kind of like kicked the hornet's nest a little bit. A lot of people responded to it. Rob Liefeld. it that long ago that he said it? I thought he just talked about this just like... Oh no, he's relaunching Youngblood, so he's been talking about it a lot, which is pretty awesome. There's gonna be an artist edition of Youngblood, which is gonna be awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on that. Goodness gracious, where did you say this, Rob? Daryl. Wait, why am I missing this? Okay, let me screen share it so you guys are not just looking at my face as I talk about this. New Safari. Yes. See, I didn't have this set up, and now, okay. Yes. Zoom to, okay, that's good. Right there. That's good enough. Okay, I'll publish that. So let's see. Now, so this is his page, his X page, but the commentary I was talking about was... He just posts so much that I lost it. But he was basically saying how this when creators were talking about like the current industry. He didn't delete it, did he? Maybe some of you guys already saw it. There's the Youngblood. Aha, here it comes. He's a big Lakers fan too, and I hate the Lakers, so it's kind of interesting to follow him. Oh yeah. Oh, here it is. Is that right? Sorry, guys. Here it is. So he's talking about Sal Buscema. And it was an interview with Sal Buscema, who's one of the kind of legendary artists, brother to John Buscema. And he's talking about the Marvel method. That's right. So the whole conversation of like the Marvel bullpen method of writing stories versus the very writer focused where they give you like word for word or like panel for panel and they describe what exactly the panels, how many panels and blah, blah, blah. In contrast, was like the Marvel bullpen method of doing a comic book story where it was like a kind of a team effort and the writer would like give the plot and then just give the reins to the artist to kind of figure it out and like write some of the dialogue and really own the creation process. And Liefeld said, and this Buscema article as well said, like basically like that the bullpen method was better and better stories came out of that because it was more collaborative as opposed to just like doing the writer's bidding. So it's great, but like here he says, let's see. Yes, Marvel method far in the way versus full script. And one of the reasons I gave up penciling was because, first of all, this is Buscema saying, I'd had enough of it. I think I just gotten to the point where I was oversaturated, didn't want to do any more penciling. Essentially, I'd retired. Working a full script is just an absolute bore. I think it was the genius of Stan Lee who came up with this concept of working by giving the outline of the story to the artists and telling them to flesh it out. And this is what created the excitement of Marvel Comics. It made them head and shoulders above anything else that was being produced in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s, and made them the biggest selling comic book company in the world. I think it was because of that method, the stories were so much more dynamic. I mean, who can tell a story better than Jack Kirby, pictorially speaking? Blah, blah, blah. And then he was just saying how he doesn't like any of the comic books these days because they're working from a full script. and it's so restricting. It's a case of the writer telling the story by telling the artist what to do, where to place the characters, what he wants in every panel. It just doesn't work as well. We as artists think visually. I know they say writers think visually too, but it's just not the same. I think it shows in the difference of the product between today and the product of the heyday of Marvel. There's no comparison as far as I'm concerned. Then he keeps talking about it, blah, 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 and just kind of the amount. But a lot of people came out of the woodworks, and Liefeld being one of them, of totally like agreeing that the Marvel method was better. So it's kind of cool. It's I mean, you know, I come from it as a fan, and just the comic stories that I grew up with, a lot of them as a kid is when I became a big fan of comics. But yeah, some of those stories, a lot of those stories were just way more exciting, and the artist, and I've talked about this, the artists, like you were so excited for not just the book, but just the artists and the writer team up, like that was just as important as the characters that they were on. I would follow writer artist teams on different books, and sometimes it didn't even matter what it was that they, you know, what it was. I would be attached more to them than I would be to like certain characters. So I think it's different now. There's not that many current artists that I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'll pick up anything that the artist, maybe like Daniel Warren Johnson is probably one of the few, and he's a writer artist combo, so he kind of does it all. But yeah, there's something to that of like giving the artist, not letting them just be the illustrator of the story, but they are really part of the process of crafting the story. And I think that's where you get like Frank Miller, like the Frank Millers of the world, or, you know, the Will Eisners of the world, or I'm trying to think of that time, but just the guy, like, yeah, Jack Kirby, like those guys were true, not just great artists, but they were true storytellers. And that's almost a craft that's missing a little bit in some of the newer artists that are coming out. Okay, I bet I'm really behind now. It's currently soup and chili time, according to K-Pop Junkie. Wow, I think you're on the same... Are you on the same coast as I am, K-Pop? I think you are. Aren't you on the West Coast? Soup and chili at 9 o'clock? That sounds about right. I wish it were an excuse. My phone is at 13%, Comrade Sammy says. What kind of chat ninja would I be if I didn't make things difficult? True. Loads of good stuff from the comic conference. Spent 3 hours watching artists draw. That's awesome. I have the Sin City book, all black, white, and bit of red. Yes. Timmy Mello. What's up, Timmy Mello?
And the Guardians are headed to October.
I'm sure Timmy Mello's feeling good. Sports-wise, Timmy Mello, aren't you feeling good? Sorry, I always default to sports when I see you, but, you know, sports. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. John, what's up, John? John is raring to go.
What's your name? He goes, John.
Good to see you, John. We're doing a late night stream here. Great to see you. We might be losing Comrade Sammy, but she came in here, but maybe you will hold up the end of that coast for us. Good seeing you, John. There you go. Glad you pop in before I have to leave. You're really pushing my buttons. Uh-oh. This guy.
It's actually a really good sculpt.
Super enjoyable stream Art and Times of Jay Ryan had the other day. Was that a Friday night? I can't remember, Jay. It was either Friday or Saturday night. Go back and watch. Go back and check out Jay Ryan's channel. He's building this incredible Astro Boy kit model. Looks amazing, and he's like, it's so relaxing, and I love doing this. I'm just at peace. And then he just went on a rant fest. Probably didn't help. Excuse me. Probably didn't help that we were instigating in the chat, but it was awesome. It was really funny. It was a fun time. But Art and Times of Jay Ryan, he had quite a bit to say. And maybe that's why he's saying I'm pushing his buttons, because we're doing something about Frank Miller. Because I know he has some opinions on ye old Miller. Go Bug Emo Trash, she should be here too. Oh dear. She's probably asleep, maybe. Jay usually does the button pushing around here. Yeah, K-pop was there. K-pop was witness. She saw what was going on. Dang it. Excuse me. Sorry. Hey, John. Art and Times of J. Ryan. Timmy Mello saying hello. John, have to get up early tomorrow. Like I said, life's about to get very busy. That's good. Busy's good. Can't function without caffeine, Timmy Mello says. Even at night, though? MD Houghton says, I just sent you an example of the wacky proportions to your Instagram DM. Amazing page with gigantic people in little bitty cars. I'm going to love it. Nothing you send me is going to make me not love it. Let me check it out. Oh, am I logged into... Oh, shoot. I don't know if I'm even logged into Instagram on this computer. I hate it with all the like authenticator passwords and blah, blah, blah. Oh, man. Save info. Yes. No, don't turn me on. Oh, okay, let's see. What? Oh, I see what you're talking about. All right, let me share screen. Everybody's got to see this. This is what MD Houghton's saying. The proportions of the characters next to the car. It's all right. It looks so freaking cool, man. I think part of it is like, sure, they could be, I love it. They could be smaller, more in proportion. Looks like they're in little toy cars. But I don't know if that's really the point of this image. He's just getting you in there. It's like, look at Club Picos. They arrived. Done. Don't worry about the proportions. They're not driving in the scene. Don't worry about it. Thanks for sending that, MD Houghton. That's awesome. I love it. Why is Rocky kicking hornets' nests? We got to do it. John may turn in soon too. You may turn in soon too, but then maybe you'll take a nap, come back out. We might still be drawing. Who knows? I haven't started drawing yet. Jeffrey Beat says, Will Sportaccio says Marvel needs to have better collaboration between editor, writer, and artist. He said that they knew Burns and that he trusted him. Simple but true. Light bulb moment for me. They knew Burns. Brines? And that he trusted him. They knew Burns. Are you talking about John Byrne? Yes, I agree. I think editors, I can't even name editors, modern day editors today, to be honest. But they were such a huge part of the Marvel ethos back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like, you knew those editors. They were so, like, iconic and part of the mix. And, arguably, like, steered the ship in the right way for the most part. But, yeah, even today, I'm like, I couldn't even name 2 editors on current books. So I don't know if I don't think that's a good thing. And I don't know if their role has changed or what, but yeah, it's true. I think they can make or break a book. And they're really crucial to like assembling those teams and making sure those teams work. Not just saying, oh, let's get this hot artist and this writer and just kind of throw them together and see what happens. Like, they really were big on like putting together awesome combos. I don't blame him. The new format of storytelling is a mess. Imagine that, someone who loves the craft complaining about where comics are today. I love it. It was a fun stream. Here goes Comrade Sammy. I'm going to have to ditch you all now. All right, Comrade Sammy, good night. Have a good night. Hope your day tomorrow goes well. Sounds exciting, whatever it may be. Make sure email gets in here. Rocky has someone who will wreak havoc in this chat. No, maybe we'll have a peaceful draw stream. Maybe I won't get so far behind. That's not true. CS is not on this coast. She's not on the East Coast? Is she in the middle of the country? Exhausted, but thankfully guards are out of town and the Cavs are waiting for their first opponent in the playoffs. Thankfully we were free for a weekend. Yeah, we didn't do so well in that department. We kind of boofed it a little bit. My Golden State Warriors. It was so frustrating. So, yeah, we're playing again tomorrow. And the Grizzlies. We're playing the Memphis Grizzlies, of all things. Which that's gonna be. I mean, that'll be a good game, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I find Facebook, when you get like logged out of Facebook or you have to change your password or whatever, is one of the most difficult things to get back in. If you don't like what I have to say about Sin City, I should send you my notes about all the weak spots I've been. I would love it. Do it. I mean, I've seen some of the Frankenstein, Wrightson's Frankenstein pages, and they're incredible. But I would love to see your notes on that. That'd be amazing. Because I think the normal reaction when you see that work, that's one of the seminal Wrightson bodies of work, is just to be like, wow, amazing. So for somebody to go in and point out the weak spots, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. CS is in mid-country. Oh, okay. It doesn't matter. It's like middle-ish. I can never figure that out. Then there's some people, like I know some people, I don't know if it's all of Arizona, but some parts of Arizona where it's like sometimes they're on the same time zone or they're not, depending on daylight savings. So confusing. All right, let's see. Let's get to the drawing. Are we done shooting the fat? I think we are. I think I'm all caught up. Hit that like, everybody, as we get started. Here we go. This is the page of the page that got voted on, that won the vote from the Elektra Saga, that Daredevil Frank Miller Elektra Saga. This is the page that I took the scan and then leveled out the colors, took out all the colors just so it was black and white and I could see the lines as best as I can. And then I blew it up to approximately the size that I think he, relatively, that the original was drawn at. So, and then here's my blank page ready to go. So this is where we are. This is this amazing, amazing drawing of Daredevil crashing out of this window. And then I love this face. I mean, Frank Miller's drawn this face a million times during this era of like this close up on a woman's face. And it's great. Like she's holding on to like the broken glass here as he's flying out. Is she really there? Who knows? You never know with Elektra. Is she there? Is it in Daredevil's mind? You never know. And then I love this. This is going to be a fun one. The like multiple poses of Daredevil jumping on the street lamp, catapulting up. And then this is like one of the side characters, a reporter, like climbing the stairs in this super dramatic panel right here. But it's cool as a whole page. It's like a beautiful balance of imagery. And I love how his hand is breaking the frames here. That's always really cool. I love it when it's like, I loved Image Comics, but like every panel of theirs, the characters were like breaking panels and breaking frame and they were skewing here. But when we come from a little bit more traditional storytelling, a little bit more conservative storytelling at the time, and then you do break it, it like gives it a lot of drama, If everything is breaking panels all the time, then you almost like get numb to it. But if it just happens in choice moments, it's really amazing. So cool stuff, really great stuff here. And I'm very excited to like dive into this. So this will be all pencils today, pencils and rulers and rough drawing. Hang on, let me get my ruler. This was the page I voted for, John says. Awesome. I believe MMO, that's right, MMO Mark was wanting another one. He's always getting the short end of the stick sometimes. I think he got one of the votes MMO got. I can't remember what page it was. I think it was the Barry Windsor Smith cover, which turned out amazing. So Timmy Mello says Elektra is a smoke show. I agree. One of my favorite, like, I guess female villain. Is she a villain? Kind of, sort of. Characters, but she was just so complicated, had so much depth to her story. I love it. And just how it like messed with Daredevil. Like he was so tormented because of her. She's a really great character. That panel looks like a modern manga panel. Yeah, totally. And that's something that for sure Frank Miller was looking at over the course of his career, was not just comics. Like he was really influenced by like Will Eisner here stateside, but like the other stuff he was looking at were like European comics, bande dessinée, manga, and he started to inject that into all of his own work. And you can really see that over the course of his career. He just starts, depending on what stuff he was working on, you can see him push in certain directions more than others. I feel like this ruler might be a little too, I mean, I can work with it. I need more of like a, yeah, it's okay. All right, cool. Let's get started. I'm going to start by kind of blocking in the panels first and then roughing in some of the shape. So let's see how far we get. MD Houghton says, Timmy, wasn't Frank one of the guys that first started bringing some of that manga look to the West? Yeah, I think so. I mean, was he one of the first? That's a good question. I think so. I think so. It's for sure with like, he loved Lone Wolf and Cub. And a lot of that, I don't know if you've ever seen that series. I don't own any of them, but a lot of that series, like the storytelling, the pacing, he really brought that into, and you can see that a lot in Ronin, his book Ronin, which is one of my all-time favorite Frank Miller things, just because it was so different and so unique at the time. Okay, let's see. So I like to kind of approximate. So what I do is like this paper here, this Strathmore paper, you can buy it where you can buy it in pads that already have the comic book dimensions broken down on it, which is super helpful. And this is like the bleed area where you can draw the trim area, you know, where you don't want anything that's important to go outside of this area. And then this is like this dotted line here is like the safe area. So when I'm blowing up these pages that I do for the master study, I like to try and keep it within this safe area, depending how it is on the page. Like if this bled to the edge, then I would also bleed it to the edge. But, you know, since it's self-contained here, I like to scale it to fit within this safe area as best as possible. In this particular case, I scaled it so that the top and bottom of the panels, or the topmost border and the bottommost border, match up to the safe area. And then for whatever reason, the sides bleed out a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just to give me, you know, a rough idea. Because if I made the sides of these panels fit into this bleed area, then it would be a lot shorter, which I didn't really like. I kind of like to fill the page as best as I can. So yeah. And then I'd like to eyeball it. I've had this question many a times over the course of these master studies. People ask me, why don't you just not trace it, but why don't you just lightbox it? Which I could, but the explanation I always give is, if I was just doing an inking exercise, then lightboxing would make a lot of sense, because you want to get exactly where things are. But I'm also taking this as like a big reason why I'm doing these master studies and why I started it was, when I was in art school, one of the things we would do is study other masters, not comic book masters, but like painters or like sculptors or whatever, like, illustrators. And the purpose of that was not just to copy their work and try and make a one-for-one reproduction, but was really to just break down as you are doing this master study, this reproduction. It gives you a greater appreciation for the process and what the artist was thinking. So similarly, for these master studies that I'm doing for a comic book page, I'm not here just to learn how to do an ink line really perfectly or exactly how Frank Miller would do in this particular case. I also want to practice. How does he lay out the page? How does he like fit the character, and how does he make sure the proportions are proper? So yeah, that's why I kind of do it this way, so that I'm not just tracing or lightboxing something, but it's also training my eye to like kind of get the proportions right from my hand, for what I'm seeing in my hand, and then translating that on paper, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun process, and I do feel like, I learned so much different things from each artist that I've done a master study so far. I've only done 2. Like I started doing these like these quick summary videos. I call them like the top 3 things I learned from the master study, doing the master study. And I've only done it for Michael Golden and Mike Zeck. I'm behind on those, but the reason I wanted to do those videos was just so that I could summarize like, oh, this is what I learned from this artist. Other than they're way better than I ever could be, and they're amazing. It's like, for the Mike Zeck page in particular, like I learned about his use of not just only using ink, the way that he used ink, but also how he used white and whiteout. So that was great. I learned about his dynamic anatomy. Mike Zeck, the way that he draws anatomy is really dynamic, even with characters that are just kind of standing there. He's always like torquing their bodies, or like they're like in these very like classic Marvel superhero, how to draw comics the Marvel ways poses, which makes it just so dynamic when you look at his pages. And then what was the other lesson that I learned with him? Oh, I haven't even watched my own video in a long time. And then for Michael Golden, it was like how he moved the camera around. Like he's really good at placing the camera in the study that I was doing was from the Nam, which is like takes place in Vietnam. And he uses the camera really well and really dramatically in that situation, and it kind of puts you in the shoes of the soldiers in Vietnam. So it makes it very dramatic and really tense, because he's like placing the camera like behind the bushes, or like from the point of view of somebody getting ambushed. So it's really cool. It's great. Okay, let me see. And it looks like from these panels, this middle panel is a little smaller. They're not equal, an equal triptych, the way that Frank Miller divided that out. Yeah, it feels like this middle panel is a little smaller than these two moments. If it was an equal division, triple division, the cool thing about this paper, the way that they demarcate it, is they give you these hatch marks that help you divide the page up equally. So if I wanted to do a page that was divided up by 3s equally, it would be like 3 columns. These were all the same width. Or if I want to do three rows, or if you want to do in half. So it's really cool that they give you those marks. But that's not what Frank did for this one. And it looks like, yep. Okay, that's pretty easy. Let me see. Where are we at? Is that an unruly ruler, Rocky? John. I believe so. Him and Stan Lee had a few mangas created as a tribute to the genre. Cool. I bought Ronin a while back. Still haven't made time to read it. I get too caught up in drawing most nights to get around to reading some stuff. I got to leave that book by my bed. I have, like, it's funny you say that, MD. I have, like, strategically placed. I have books, like, by my desk. I have books by my bed. I have books in my living room. And I'm in different places in all of them. And so, in all comics, you know, it's like, I do that so that, like, I don't know if you guys are like this, but there's some days I'm like, oh, I want to read, like, kind of a dumb, like, I don't want to think too much. I don't want, like, too heavy of a story. So I'll read this kind of story. Or, like, right now next to my bed, I have the Joss Whedon, John Cassidy Astonishing X-Men graphic novel. That one's been really fun to reread. I read it a long time ago, but it's fun to reread it. Just bought the 2 graphic novels. I think the first one's called Unstoppable. But yeah, that's been really great. And it's a great, like, sit in my bed right before I go to bed and read. But Ronin's great. I have both the Ronin compilation. I have, so yeah, I got this, it's not the first printing of it, but, you know, whatever. The compilation of it. I have this next to my other side of my desk, like one of the individual issues. And it just feels different, like looking through an individual issue. Feels different than looking through the graphic novel. I've told you guys this a number of times. Like, I love the floppy format. And, there's something about it that just hits differently for me than a graphic novel. So Ronin is one of those books, like, I'll take any of the formats and have multiple copies of it. So I love the colors in Ronin too. Man, I gotta read this again. So I have this, I have that, this compilation, and then I can't even put this in frame because it's so large. One of my prized possession artist editions is the Ronin one. Look how huge this sucker is. This one's unbelievable. And so, yeah. So, like, you know, in artist edition format, it's like the whole Ronin thing. And this kills me how good this is. And it's so cool to see the original scans. It's really beautiful. So I hope you enjoy it once you get to it, MD Houghton. Because yeah, it's a fun one. It's really good. Ultimo was Stan Lee's project. Okay. Cranberry Langers, what's up, Cranberry? Good seeing you.
This is a cranberry, full of power.
Mighty Geek Studios likes Ronin. That's right. What's up, Mighty Geek Studios? I got to get working on your on a sound effect for you, Mighty Geek. I've seen you around here quite a bit, and you're wrenched already, so it's time to get you a sound effect. What's new? What's new? Nothing much. We're gonna crack into this master study today. Frank Miller understood shapes and used those shapes to make his characters distinguishable. Yeah, he just has all the tricks, man. Frank Miller uses all the tricks. And when he can't lean on one, he like pulls out another one. Let's see, what's the best place to start here? I feel like I feel like I want to crack into this Electra head here. Oh, let me start up some. Alright, tell me if that is too loud, guys. It's always a crapshoot knowing how loud this music comes across. In the first panel, Dee Dee's back doesn't look quite right. This part? Why? Because it's like hunched over like this? Oh, good. I'm the kind of guy, like the kind of art I like is not always perfect. It's like if it elicits an emotion or like is dynamic, like that's why Kirby for me, like if you dissect Kirby's anatomy or the correctness of what he drew, you'll find all sorts of flaws, but man, that guy could make a page like sing and like explode and just excite you to read. And a lot of the artists that I like do that. They're not like the, perfect anatomy all the time kind of artists. And those artists that are like that kind of bore me, to be honest. Sometimes their artwork's like, it's a little boring. Why do I feel like this panel is thinner? It feels, Oh, I know why. Because even here, see, this is something you wouldn't notice unless you actually had to recreate this page, but here's the border to that panel, but Frank Miller broke that border with her head, so it's like, it goes out wider here. It really feels like her head's like coming out of the window. That's cool. And one of the things that's what I love so much about like the artist edition books, like in Ronin in particular or whatever, when you see the and there's many pages in there where you see his thought process, and sometimes he'll like white out stuff or move stuff around or like rotate things, like cut and paste and rotate things. It's really cool. If you look closely, you'll see that Electra looks like Sans Serif from The Spirit. For sure, that like Will Eisner influence on Frank Miller's work, for sure. There's a funny Facebook. I'm not on Facebook that much anymore, to be honest, but the thing that I do kind of check in are mostly comic stuff now. It's kind of sad. But there's a group that I'm a part of on Facebook. I think it's called like Comic Swipes or something like that. And they basically, people can submit different swipes that they've seen other artists do. Like if they're swiping particular artwork or a panel or a pose or whatever. And you'd be amazed. Like there's some stuff there that it's like classic, like, oh, I grew up with that. And then when people show like, well, it was swiped from this, I'm like, what? So we're all influenced by everybody. Nothing's new under the sun. It's just, what do you do with that influence? And where do you take it? Like, how do you put your own spin on it? Or are you just like totally ripping it off directly? Speaking of editors, yeah, one of the recent posts I saw on that group, that Comic Swipe group, was, I can't even remember the name of the artist who it was, but he was basically like ripping off. It's really egregious. He's ripping off like directly panels from Jim Lee from other books and just like copying it, like tracing them and putting it in. But I think the editor on it was like Jim Shooter or something like that, like somebody who's like a reputable editor, a longtime editor. And one of the comments was like, how did this get approved? Or were they the ones who gave the green light for this guy to like ape Jim Lee so hard? Like it was really bad, like super obvious. And I think the inker was Joe Rubinstein on it. And Joe Rubinstein is like, he's a seasoned inker. And he must have seen, like it must have been, the directive must have been given from up high to say like, we need to rip off Jim Lee or something. I don't know. It was bad though, like really bad. They weren't even hiding it. But yeah, I don't know why the editors didn't do anything about that. Why they thought that was the best route to go in that particular. The other thing I like to do is like sometimes I will probably do this. I'll kind of put the page on top and like flip back and forth between it just to see how tight or how off I am in my like eyeballing the placement of stuff, which is usually pretty bad. But it's cool. I'm already seeing like on this page, pretty sure I'll do this like with white, painting this with white as opposed to trying to recreate this in black. It just feels like it's more natural to paint this in white, this stuff in white. That'll be fun. If you look closely, you will see that Electra looks... Oh, yeah, yep. I like to read the dumb, simple stories sometimes. Yeah. Yep, there's some days I'm like, I just want, like, stupid art. I want it to look like, just be silly and fun. I'm such a sucker for artist edition books. I know, it's bad. M.D. Houghton. As you get to know me, you'll realize it's really bad. It's a bad habit. And there's so many good ones coming out. There's one of the ones I cannot wait coming out this year is it was done through Kickstarter. I've put the trailer on my channel many a times, especially when the campaign was kind of in the heat of things. But it's the artist edition of Jason Pearson body bags. And Jason Pearson passed away a few years ago, but he is still one of my favorites, one of my favorite modern day comic artists. And I loved his body bags, which was his own creator book that he did. So Scott Dunbier, who is the kind of the premier artist edition guy, he was the one who kind of invented what the artist editions are to this day. He used to work for IDW doing most of the artist edition books that they produced, and then he left and started his own company now called Act 4 Publishing. And so Jason Pearson's book is one of the first books he's releasing with that. So it looks amazing. I cannot wait for that to come out. It's supposed to be this year. So, but yeah, it's bad. It's a bad thing to get into artist editions. There's that one coming out this year. There's the Rob Liefeld Youngblood one, which is going to be awesome. Man, speaking of Will's Portaccio, Jeffrey Beats, who just met him at a con, that would be awesome to see some Will's artist edition. All of those image creators, that would be awesome to see. I know Todd McFarlane came out with he called it like the Vault edition for Spawn. He did 2 volumes of it. Unfortunately, I did not pick it up when it first came out, and so now it's kind of hard to find and more expensive in the aftermarket. So that is part of my like eBay wish list. But yeah, he did an artist edition for Spawn. I have the I guess Image, when they release it, they call it Vault Edition. I have the Vault Edition for Savage Dragon. That one's a great one. And then the Youngblood's going to come out, and then I think definitely, I haven't done this yet in other pages, sorry, totally segue, but I'm going to do the lettering too. It's so part of the page. It's really cool, so I'll do the hand lettering. They did, I already know this is too far over. Oh yeah, that's what's, no wonder. So, I don't know if you guys remembered or picked up on I saying at the top of the stream, it's wider here than the save frame, and I didn't compensate for that. So now these are too thin. Yeah, so they did the Savage Dragon Artist Edition, Spawn, Youngblood. They have not done a Wildcats or Wetworks, but I do have an Artist Edition of Jim Lee's X-Men work, which is excellent. I would love to see a Wills artist edition of something. Jeffrey Beats, if you're still there. Besides getting Wills' signatures at the con, was he selling anything? Like, I know he's been advertising like a sketchbook or something on Instagram. I don't know if he was selling that at the con. Humphrey Bear, what's up? Humphrey Bear, wow, what a fun profile picture. I don't think we've met before, Humphrey Bear. What is up? Good to see you. Good to meet you. Welcome to my stream. I was your 8th YouTube sub. Where's my sound effects? Were you really? Are you kidding me? All right, we gotta remedy that. MD Houghton, holy cow, you were my 8th sub? How do I not know that? That's a tough one though. MD Houghton. To figure out sound effect for that. I'm gonna have to work. That's gonna. Some people, some of my subscribers, the sound effects come easier than others. Some of them just kind of write themselves, and others you gotta like really think about it. And yours, I feel like, is gonna be one of those, MD Houghton, when I get to that point. But if you were truly my 8th sub, man, you for sure have been here for a while. Could be lower. Yes, it's hunched and kind of looks like a cobra snake hood. Too hunched, John says, about Daredevil's back. He had a good hunch about it. Wow! Humphrey Bear, approved. Yeah, I can't get it. Can you hear that? Is that better, Cran? That's about as low as I can get it. He actually stole the design from Will Eisner. Oh, there you go. Hardly anyone uses Facebook these days, though they did it to themselves. Yeah. Don't use Twitface, no good. Artist swiping, never. They are all pure and noble. We are. Totally are. Yeah, I think... Okay, that's better. I was going to say, I think that if you dig long enough, you'll find swiping everywhere. But again, I think that's expected. It's just, what do you do with it? Or are you just directly ripping it off and calling it your own? I mean, now we're in the era of like the next evolution of swiping, which is all that AI stuff. Like that's gonna take art in a whole nother level. Like everyone, pure without ulterior motive, like the driven snow. It's funny, while you're doing these master studies, you seem to be going back to how animation used to get done. That's my, I guess my natural tendencies fortunate or unfortunate. It definitely is kind of ingrained in my brain. For those of you who don't know, I most of my career was in the animation in the animation industry. However, I was way into comics before I got into animation, and it led me to animation, my love for comics. And they're very much related, for sure. You also need to understand Frank Miller's black and white test before coloring happens. Yeah, I feel like Frank Miller's strength was as a black and white artist. I don't even know, like, every time you think of coloring with Frank Miller, you always think of somebody else. Like, for sure, Lynn Varley is like the #1 colorist I think of when I think of Frank Miller stuff. And they used to be married, I believe. But some of his best work that was colored was by her. It's like Dark Knight Returns, Elektra Lives Again. Yeah, she was incredible. But then she also did Dark Knight Strikes Again, and that was really bad. It made me like not even want to read that series when it came out because the coloring just turned me off so much. But then I got the noir edition of that book, and just seeing Frank Miller's artwork in black and white, I was like, wow, they should have just released it like this, because it's beautiful. I did a flip through video on my channel. It was one of the earliest videos that I did, and because I had never seen it before, and I just wanted to make it available for other people to see what it looked like, and it's beautiful. It's really, his work in black and white, it's amazing. Frank must have been looking at like a diver or something for this reference. Just checked out the Act 4 publishing site. They have a wall. Yes. And they're re-releasing some Dave Stevens like vault stuff, which Dave Stevens that's another one of the artist decisions that I have. His Rocketeer. Holy moly, is that one beautiful. They're doing a J. Scott Campbell Danger Girl artist edition. That's gonna be amazing too. That one, I'm gonna have to get that one. Ooh, there's too much good stuff coming out of that company. It's really bad. I think I just need to like I just need to give Scott Dumbier my bank account and just tell him to send it directly to my house. Anything he does. I bought Wils's book from the con. It's A3 size, black and white, has 30 selected pieces. Brilliant. That's the one. That is the one. He called it a sketchbook. Yes. He was also selling A3 posters of Bishop. Yeah, he was the lead or the main guy who designed Bishop. He's a big fan of Tim Tans. Wall in Australia. Nice. Very low now, but I don't see anyone else complaining other than me. So if it's too low, apologies. It's okay. Excuse me. Ugh. Oh. It's pretty crazy. And I know no official statement has come out from Studio Ghibli yet. There was a false one. People thought like, oh, they said this, but it was actually some comment that Miyazaki had made prior to this whole AI using the Ghibli look. But I'm sure their lawyers are like looking into it now. Because yeah, that just spread like wildfire. For those of you who don't know, there was like a thing you could use AI to make a Ghibli style, which is the studio that Miyazaki, the Japanese animation director Miyazaki, he started a studio called Studio Ghibli, produced amazing films, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Nausicaa, all these like phenomenal Japanese films. And so they kind of have like a house style for their studio. And amazingly, somebody used AI or created like an AI model to train on that style, and then you could just like insert a picture, any picture you have, and say, oh, make this in like a Studio Ghibli style, and it would do it. And it looked I mean, it didn't look perfect, but it looked darn good, you know. And there were some amazing results that came out of it, some really funny things. I even saw, did you see that video, Timmy Mello, where it was like a kind of the story of Trump, but they did it in a Studio Ghibli style. It's like an animated video. It's crazy. I was like, wow. So yeah, it's a little frightening. Was done in seconds with a keyboard, mass-produced until the uniqueness of Ghibli style was utterly lost in meaning. I mean, yeah. It will never be able to create his storytelling. That's for sure. But the look and the style, and arguably, is that what people are doing when they do a manga style? And they're copying, you know, certain manga styles. Isn't that what people are doing? It's just doing it really fast and really good. So I don't know. It's like people used photo reference before. Now it's just like instant. The speed is instant. And more so from like, more than just like, oh, is it ripping off, you know, the whole ownership copyright stuff. I get that controversy, but I'm just like, you know, like how people create art and being able to tell, like, I think it's kind of funny how people are like, oh, just count the fingers and you'll know if it's AI, because AI notoriously doesn't do fingers well or adds extra fingers all the time. But, you know, this is going to get better and better. So I think other than just the creation of it and how quickly that is happening, I think it's now every time I look at a piece of art that I haven't seen before, I'm like, is that AI? Like, I'm always questioning that. Is that AI? Or if I watch a cat video, I'm like, is that AI? Is that a real cat? Or is that, you know, or anything? You always question it now because it's just getting so good. So it's a little crazy. And that's another reason why I'm doing these master studies. It's like I'm leaning into the traditional process of stuff, and for sure it takes longer than typing a few words into ChatGPT to create an image. But yeah, I'm leaning into it because I love the process, and I think that the more people use AI and are able to create art with AI, and for good and bad. I think the traditional process will be harder to come by, and people that are willing to sit and be patient and struggle with the medium is going to be harder to come by. So it'll just be me. I'll be the only one doing this dumb process. And then it'll become novel, and then I'll be a billionaire. I think that's too far. Like turning a fine prepared steak into a greasy burger mass produced. It's kind of like that. It's really changing everything. Cranberry says, I personally don't think Ghibli's uniqueness is lost. Maybe for people who pay less attention to his work, but it's like looking at a copy of a copy to me. The details are lost. Yeah, but I mean, we're just looking at version 2, I'd say, of this technology. Arguably 3. It's just going to get better and better and better and better. And you want to hope that's like, oh, well, it's missing the soul and it's never going to be, you'll never be able to catch it exactly. It's going to miss the nuance. It's going to miss the mistakes. The mistakes are part of it. And if it doesn't make those mistakes, you'd hope so. But then also, I think the way people consume content is nobody is really paying attention to the nuance anymore with a lot of content. It's just just gimme. All right, next thing. And you don't even sit and stare and admire the art anymore. Or a lot of people don't. They just swipe to the next thing really quickly. So who knows? I think our how we consume content is changing just as rapidly as how we create it. And ultimately, the consumer wins, right? The consumer is going to lead the pack. Unless you're independently wealthy and you can just create whatever the heck you want to create and spend all the time you want to spend on it. But it's going to change. I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think AI is going to go away, and I don't think traditional stuff is going to go away. But it's changing. It's all rapidly changing. And the question for me, as a creator, as an artist, the question is how much do you want to embrace it, lean into it, use it, and how much do you want to resist it and kind of, be true to the traditional ways that you've learned how to create art? Enough blocking on that. Oh geez, is it really? No. Oh yes, my there we go. All right, that was weird. All comics should be black and white. I've honestly never seen colors. That really blows me away. I love black and white comics. This is one that's on my desk right now. Speaking of comics that I just plant all over my room and my house, this is right next to my desk right now. And the black and whiteness of this, I never want to see this colored or somebody to attempt to color this, because it just exists in black and white in my mind, and it's just brilliant. This is The Crow, one of my favorite indie books of all time. So yes, I agree with you, MD. However, I don't agree with you in that I have seen some colorists that like blow me away, and dagnammit, I've wanted to do some videos just talking about coloring as a specific thing, comic book coloring, and kind of certain artists who I feel like have done a great job of like adding something to the medium, not just like, you know, not just color by number, but they actually do something in it. So I'd argue some colorists that I really admire, comic book colorists, are like Dave Stewart is one. Mark Chiarello is another one. There's a colorist on, oh gosh, what's her name? Lynn Varley. When Lynn Varley was good, she went crazy on that when she did computer coloring. But when she was good, like when she was doing, oh yeah, Jordi Belair is another modern day colorist. Okay, let's stick with the Frank Miller theme though. This is Electra Lives Again, right? And arguably this would be amazing in black and white, but look at the coloring on this. There's like some amazing colors. She also colored Dark Knight Returns, which love the colors on that too. So yeah, I mean, I would love seeing this in black and white, but yeah. But they're few and far between as far as colorists that I think elevate the comic art. The AR production is getting better and better, however, which is pretty concerning, where the average person won't really recognize that. That's right. That's right. The only part of a comic that should be in color is the cover. Yeah? Well, yeah. I'm with you, but also I'm not. I do appreciate good colorists out there. I can't make such a blanket statement about coloring, but if you know me long enough, you'll know I'll always, always, always go for the black and white version of something, which is why these artist editions are like so appealing to me, because they're always in black and white. And I love it because the artists too, the best comic book artists out there are the ones that are thinking in black and white, and they're not just depending on the colorist to like fix what they are not, you know, like if that they're thinking of like lighting, they're thinking of mood in black and white, and then the colorist can like enhance that. They're not just like, well, the colorist will figure it out. He'll help me out here. Busting out of the panel here. They managed indeed to apply the filter to live videos, giving a sense of AI-like animation in that Ghibli style. I mean, I would say that the in the videos I've seen that were moving in the Ghibli style, they did not feel like animated movement. It felt really like fake. That was it. But the still images were like, it's kind of cool. I mean, cool in a sense, like, it's kind of, you know, it's not bad. It's not like it's learning some things that are probably, but the movement was really. I've seen people get around AI movement, both in like live action examples and animation examples, and they'll do a lot of cutting, you know, like editing, so that you don't really focus on the movement that much. So that's one thing that I'll be curious to see how good it can actually get, because so much of animation is in the movement and the timing, and I don't know if you can really so much of the magic goes into that, and I don't know if you can really automate that unless you're doing a movement that doesn't have any life, not life to it, any character to it, right? Like very like automated movements, like a robot or a vehicle, like that you can fake and kind of mathematically do. But when it comes to like giving something in life and personality, that would be really hard to do from an automated point of view or process. They managed indeed to apply the filter to live videos. Still, it's only a matter of time before they cover other styles like Trigger. Is it live or is it Memorex? Now, ChatGPT as a writing coach does have its advantages. So it's used only for correcting your own writing projects and pointing out grammatical mistakes. Yeah, or like even as research. I mean, I've used ChatGPT for certain things of like researching things. It's like, you know, it's like a Google search on steroids, you know, and it's like conversational, and it's more organized than Google, not so random as a Google search. So I think that's really helpful for certain tasks. I'm not opposed to using it for stuff like that, but yeah, the art thing, it's kind of like makes my skin crawl a bit. I've heard people say, oh, like using it for like just like mood boards or like visual development. I mean, I can see that. It's like using Google search or Pinterest to like gather reference to something that you're creating. I seek out original artist work, though. Being made by man's hand actually creates actual preciousness or pricelessness. Its creativity made physical puts it in the world. Yeah. That's what will be lost. The identity of the art will be lost for the sake of convenience. Still, there will always be a market for traditional art, though it will become rather niche. I hope not. Yeah, I hope not. I hope not. You know, to your point, like when you're saying taking like what was the metaphor that you said? Like taking a steak, a fine prepared steak, into a greasy burger and mass produce. You would hope that's the same for art, right? Like, so yeah, you'll have anybody can do their own Ghibli film, you know, in 5-10 years, and so everybody could create their own feature length Ghibli film with their own story, and it'll look great and blah blah blah. But there will be those things that you can't create using AI and only people who know the craft or who do it a traditional way. And so those will become more rare, like you're saying, but hopefully there still will be a market for it. It won't be the McDonald's market, but it'll be like the fine dining market for art. Hopefully, it's been the tried and true thing for art. You know, you have commercial artists and then you have fine artists, and the commercial artists are cranking out stuff that's affordable for the masses, and then you have the fine artists that like take forever, but like they're one of a kind. I went to this museum. I think I shared this on stream. I went to this museum. It was actually a library, the Boston Public Library. But they had this exhibit for, oh man, now I forgot who the artist was. It'll come to me. But anyway, he did this mural in the library that took him like 20 years to do. And it's beautiful and it's incredible and it's amazing. But 20 years of his life just working on this mural in this one corner of the library. And he had it shipped from like England all the way over here. It was crazy. But it's one of a kind, and it's, you know, I don't know if the guy died rich or not. I think he did, but you know, that's just something that took time. Couldn't reproduce that quickly. That's what will be lost. The identity of art will be lost for the sake of convenience. Still, yeah, there will always be a market for traditional art, though it will never. Oh, you already just read that. Purchasing art is a caretaking capturing of inspiration made manifest. I'm gonna put that on my business card. And when the ash is clear, I'll probably be one of the geezers teaching kids the archaic art style of comics and manga. Nice, you and me both. That staircase page. Was that on Ronin? The moment a color starts... Oh, no, I know. That was in Electro Lives Again. Yeah. The moment a color starts changing ink lines into color and starts blurring out background. Yes, I'm with you, MD Houghton. When they alter... Even if they... You know, they work with the artist and the artist is okay with it. The penciler or the inker or whatever is okay with it. Yeah, that kind of... When they try and do, like, filmic effects... And I know in the 90s, 2000s, Image went crazy with that, with everybody's like Photoshop coloring. And they started doing lens flares and gradients and all that. And they just went crazy with that. Some of that, or a lot of that coloring was horrendous. And even when they take, I'd even go one step farther. When they take, like they start rendering in color stuff that's not there in pen and ink. You know, like they'll like model the face or whatever. That also bugs me too, because it's like you're trying to make something look so real that maybe was intended to be more flat or more graphic or abstract in the pen and ink version, and then you're like rendering it with like realistic flesh and lighting. Yeah, I don't like that mix. I like it. When the colorist that's paired up with the artist, they're working in conjunction, and they have the same mindset as far as the goal of the art, you know, or the style of the art. That's why I like Dave Stewart a lot. I mentioned him as one colorist I really admire, because I feel he colors or has colored like Mike Mignola's stuff a lot, and I've seen him do like, I think he's colored like Tim Sale's stuff a lot. So I've seen him take artists who are really whose work can sing in black and white, and then he doesn't take away from it but adds to it just some good color theory and this like subtle stuff, as opposed to trying to over render or overpower it with color effects. And that goes back to, you know, like we were just talking about, like the editor putting together those teams that they're on the same page as far as what they're trying to accomplish, and not, they don't have different agendas. So yeah, like Daniel Warren Johnson, one of my favorite like current or modern artists. He works with a colorist named Mike Spicer, and Daniel Warren Johnson has a very distinct style. It's like really gritty and very brushworky and like chaotic, dynamic, a lot of action lines and stuff. And the colorist Mike Spicer like totally works with that and doesn't take away from Daniel Warren Johnson's black and white art, but he also adds his own stuff to it. So they work well together, and they're constantly pairing up with each other on different projects. Actually, another good colorist who is a computer color dude is Brad Anderson. He's doing all the Ghost Machine coloring, so check out his stuff. I really like his coloring. And the Ghost Machine artists they're highly rendered pen and ink stuff, but he adds like a cinematic quality to their work, which is really nice. And he doesn't overpower it. He adds a lot to their inks. Okay, let's see. I don't want to start getting too much into the details yet. I just want to keep blocking this stuff out. That's so good that you have talents to do this, Rocky. Thanks, Jeffrey Beats. I mean, as much as I can, as much as I can. Definitely trying. Black and white panels forces you to visualize color to fill in the gaps. You aren't just reading, you're also imagining the sequence. Yeah. That's what I love, like theater. I've talked about my love for theater on my stream before. And why I love it so much is because the other participant it's not just about the magic that they're putting on stage, or how good are the actors, or the state, the sets or the costumes. That's all part of it. But what I love so much about theater is, and it's similar to comics, similar to a lot of entertainment, but similar to comics for sure, is your imagination is as much a part of it as the artist, and how they engage your imagination to kind of, like you're saying, fill in the blanks is a big part of it. And those are the type of shows, speaking of theater, like those are the type of shows that I love, where they're not just recreating a set that looks like you're in 1940s a setting or whatever. It's like they just hint at things, and your imagination fills in the blanks. And when that happens, that's total magic. Like it's amazing. Ooh, I feel like I'm gonna need to do one of these things, because the angle of this staircase, the stairs, is gonna be important. So let me tape this down. can get the angle right on these stairs. I'm going to do the little flippy-do that I've done in the past. There's a lot of work in the background to get to that professional level of skill. Yeah. I mostly use Grok because I can't rely on Google as much, Cranberry Langer says. I prefer... It's so so funny how... I mean, if you're an X user too, like how quickly Grok has become like integrated into the whole deal. Like I see, you know, depending on what kind of post you read, like I often see like the second or third comment on a post is like, Grok, is this true? It's kind of crazy. How do we know that Grok is telling us the truth? We really don't. So what I'm doing, I did this on a few pages before, or a few of the master studies I did before, but kind of treating this a little bit like I would in animation where, or traditional animation at least, where I'm like flipping the page just so I can get this angle right on the staircase, because I know if I screw up this angles, if I just screw it up by eyeballing it, it's going to mess up the whole composition. So I just rapidly, like I line it up and then I rapidly flip back and forth. One of the AI things, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I can't even remember the name of the, it's an Instagram account. I can look it up in a second, but it's one of my favorite AI things I've seen. But it's somebody who's like making baby versions of basically every pop culture thing you can think of. So the first one I saw was like a baby version of the cast from The Office. So it's like Michael Scott and like Dwight, all those guys, but they're like baby versions of them. They look like real babies. It's amazing. So they've done that for everything, like The Sopranos and Game of Thrones and the cast of Friends. I just saw, I think today I just saw one. It was like Pulp Fiction, the cast of Pulp Fiction, but they're all babies. It's awesome. It's really good. I'm like, I can get on board with that. Like, that's pretty incredible that technology can do that. MD Houghton says, I prefer asking questions to chat. SLSD. Late and great, awesome one is.
Yes! That's awesome!
You're losing your pole position, awesome one. Coming in at like 10th or 11th these days. How you doing, awesome one? Hold me. Grok being relatively free is pretty handy in getting into. It's true. Rocky went through the ringer on some Canadian stream. Yes. One particular Canadian who shall not... Oh, he was already named, but... Yeah. Got a little testy there. It's okay. It was awesome. It was an awesome discussion. I don't know, Jay Ryan, I don't know how far, I had to leave your stream, but I I don't know how much longer you went beyond when I left, but it seemed like you had a lot more to go on the build. So I don't know if you're going to do another stream to continue the build of that Astro Boy. Because yeah, I was just seeing like the inner workings of his head and his torso when I left. I don't know how far you got beyond that. But you were saying that kit was like $100. That's super cheap for something as detailed as that was. But that requires way more patience than I have. A good friend of mine, he collects Legos, like the really complicated ones. And he takes like months to like build those things. I'm like, I can't even do that. Jay, that's what waifu gem pillars are for. What's up, Jason? Jason Unhinged was in that stream. That Jay Ryan stream. It was great. It was so good. Between Jason, K-pop, and Shelby, the comments were amazing in that stream. I think I said ha 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 more than I said anything else in that stream. Stairs have never been so dramatic as this Frank Miller panel right here. There's still a market for handmade artisanal furniture, and though there's also mass-produced furniture. True, that's true. I think the thing of have you guys seen recently with all the like tariff talk? Wow, that was so off. How did that get so off? I guess the recent news thing today was like some Chinese manufacturers are all basically saying like, hey, we'll sell it. Hey guys, screw the tariffs. We'll sell you this stuff directly. And we're actually the same people that make like stuff for huge name brands like Louis Vuitton and Chanel, but we'll sell it to you at cost and you can bypass all the people. So it's like this huge, I guess it's a huge TikTok thing. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know, but they're kind of disrupting or trying to disrupt the market and sell directly to consumer, which is really interesting actually and kind of crazy. Don't know if it'll work, but I think the reason why you invest or buy into the like name brands is like there's a certain level of trust or quality that you assume, and if you're just buying it from some random Chinese TikToker who says that they're the ones that produce it for Louis Vuitton. Like, how do you know? You're not. It's not like it's like buying a bag like on the side on the subway in New York. Like, how do you know that's probably not real? But it is cheaper by 2,000%. A colorist is there for color, not value. That's what ink is for. Dang, MD Houghton, man. Just throwing down the gauntlet, the black and white gauntlet. Drawing as well, keep jaw wagging. The editor is important. I think modern editor answer to the shareholders more than ever. DC has done some great work lately. Yes, I do believe DC's they're doing way more interesting stuff, in my opinion, right now than Marvel was. And I'm a Marvel boy. Like that's what I grew up with and have loved for the longest time. But I'm for sure picking up more DC stuff right now currently than I am Marvel. Tell Jason that you don't like hug boxes, Rocky. Huh? Okay. Theater, you say. Theater, I say. Speaking of art, I'm looking forward to getting your art in my hands, Jason. Gonna be great. Nice. Picked up some good pieces during an... Oh, cool. That's awesome. You won some Jason Unhinged original art? That's amazing. Jason's one of those artists that I don't think AI would ever know what to do. I don't think AI would be able to reproduce what Jason does. And that's a good thing. Spam. Yeah, I'm just now realizing I need somewhere good to put those. That's the problem with art. No wall space. That's right. I don't know how many more master studies I can keep doing until... I mean, I already have one in my my folio folder that I keep. So it's not displayed. It's just kind of tucked away because I don't have wall space for it anymore. Which is kind of sad. So that's true. That's the same with comics too. You run out of shelf space. I mean, you can go digital comics, but that's not me. gosh. My depth perception is like wigging out here. Okay. There's all sorts of interesting hatch marks here. That's going to be a trip. Trying to capture some of that, like here too, this cross hatching here for the shadow. Okay. Grok has lied several times to me, but I don't trust most people. I more go to it for what I'd go to a random person for. Directional advice. Like straight up lied to you? Was it like giving you false facts, or like doesn't Grok work? It just like doesn't like aggregate all the stuff that's on X and like all the articles, all the comments, and kind of puts it together and answers you in that? Yeah, how does that work? I need more so I can put up my prints and art. More walls. I'm watching babies on YouTube now. It helps calm my mom down. We started watching a quintuplet channel. Just build a bigger house, K-pop. Yeah, it's a simple answer. Here's the baby channel someone is watching. Astro Boy's frame skeleton was finished on stream? Wow. Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, I think I left literally when it was just the like head and oh man, that is way off. The head and a little bit of the body. So that's crazy. You got the skeleton already? Still have to put his body on and make his repair bed. Wow. Start with the foundation. It should be about as big as Mile High Comic square footage. Astro Real Boy is looking dope. Unhinged aims to please. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to find out what you got from him, Cranberry. China's economy is cratering thanks to the tariffs. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's like, I've heard a lot of people say it's like who blinks first, right? And I mean, it's nutty. It's nutty how fast stuff is moving and how wide the impact is in such a short amount of time. It's like, oh, it's like the whole world is terrorized. Now it's like, well, it's just China. And then it's like everything, well, except phones and electronics and books and So yeah, it's a definite strategy, negotiation strategy going on. But there's some funny memes and social media posts that come out of this. There's this one guy, he's like a sign guy. I can't remember. He sells like neon signs, and he's from China, and he has the funniest videos. He does like a Trump impression, but yeah, I mean a lot of the videos coming out of China, they do like Trump impressions, and they're really good too. Alright. Slowly blocking it in. It's actually not that complicated of a page. I mean, I think the finish will be really key and crucial to get this right. But as far as like just the blocking, it's not too bad. This was... I'm gonna have to tweak the placement on some of these figures, but this one was like probably the most complicated just because of the angle of the stairs. Yeah. China slave market is ending. China's feisty. They'll fight to do well. Yeah. Actually, Chinese have been kabooming their own factories for a couple of months now as they aren't paying the employees. I don't want the Chinese people to suffer, but I greatly dislike their government. Yeah. Cranberry Rangers did score some JSON art. That's great. It's on the way. I'm sure AI can dupe me. I don't know. We should do a test. No, we shouldn't. This is back in February, as the China show has been around for years, shows several factories that employees have kaboom. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of people there, and they got a lot of resources. So yeah, who knows how this is all going to pan out. Jason, is AI confirmed? I set up the company equipment at my new job today. Awesome, Cranberry, you got a new job? That's great. Congratulations. Yes, that's great. Yeah, Grok's given incorrect information several times, Cranberry Langer says. Thanks, I've had it about a month, but it didn't start until like a week now. China's the #1 trade partner with like 2/3 of the world. Yep. Some really great Chinese impressionists coming. There, that's the dude. Tony from LC Sign. Yes. That guy's amazing. And some of the super edits I've seen of him like cutting together. I can't even say it on stream, but some of the things that they cut together are so funny. Where he'll like take a clip of somebody totally unrelated to the sign, and then he'll respond to it and then quickly go into the pitch for the sign. It's so funny. That guy, like, if I need a neon sign, I'm ordering it from him. the power of comedy and advertising. You're welcome, Cranberries. That's great. I'm glad you were able to land something. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's a good job for you and something that you'll enjoy doing. Okay, let's see. Just trying to think, what should I move on next? Should I try and... Sure you guys hit that like. Oh, I saw my like. I don't know if it was because of the short videos I had done recently that got a lot of views or what, but like my watch hours jumped up, so they're, you know, getting close to where I need them to be before we hit that next level here on that channel. So it was great. I was like, oh, that like helped with the watch hours. So yeah, that's great. I'm working on a new intro for this master study series. Just in general, when I do master studies, I'm working on a new intro for that. And already got something in the mail that I will save for Wednesday. Surprise, surprise, it's in a Gemini mailer. So excited for that. That came today. There's a couple things, I think a couple indie books that are out for shipment, but that's the first one that arrived today. And then there's something I picked up. I met up with one of my old buddies. He's been on chat before. My friend Alan. We met up on last Friday, and had breakfast. Stopped by Frank's shop at Amazing Fantasy, which was great. And then I picked up something. I wouldn't have picked it up if I wasn't with my friend Alan. And I don't know. It's gonna be like something I want to. How do I describe this without giving it away? Something that's gonna like tie into hopefully future things on this channel. But he convinced me. He was like, yes, get that. And so I did. And but I don't know if I should share it. Yeah, I might hold off on sharing that until I'm for sure like know what I'm doing. Crash. I feel like that Steranko page is going to help me once I get to her face, because we did those like close-ups on lips and faces and eyes. So we got some of that right here. Yeah, he's hilarious. Stinks that he's Chinese. I wanted like American guys more. Cranberry. It doesn't matter. Funny is funny, man. Funny is funny. He definitely has his finger on the pulse. Yeah, he's whoever is running his advertising, whether it's him or if he has a team, they're on it. I need to also branch out into some side work. I've also done some work for a couple comics so far. Really? Congratulations on that. My watch hours never go up. I don't go live enough or post as many videos. Busy with Frog. What? What do you mean you don't go live enough? You always have your shows. What do you mean you don't go live enough or post this? You're posting way more than I am. I don't even know why your watch hours aren't going up. That's surprising to me. I'll share your streams out more, Jason. Nice, K-pop. Also, I need to figure out how to set up the raid things because I have a few streams that happen right before yours and I can just send them over to you and Luke. I know there's some sort of setting in YouTube Studio where you can turn it on and allow other people to share out your stream, I think. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Can you have someone take over doing those for you, Jason, until you're free? For his streams? I'm going back to my usual schedule. April sucked. Far too many people trying to get on by the end of the month. Cons and concerts and Easter. Yeah. Someone's watch hours are nil. Yeah, that's surprising, Jason. I would think that, I mean, you have your regular streams that you do with hockey and, what's his name? The other guy? You have your regular streams that I've caught a few times. It feels like they're regular. And then you put out your your drawing videos, your time-lapse drawing videos. Those seem to come out quite regularly. I honestly don't even know how they calculate watch hours. Like really how they calculate it. Who knows? Gosh, the placement of that figure is way off now that I'm looking at it. This whole thing is gonna have to go. This is where digital is like, oh, copy, paste, rotate, move. Oh, one thing I was thinking of showing on stream, I would need your guys' advice, was there's this animated trailer that I think it's for the game Marathon. And I'm not a gamer by any means, but the guy who is the director on the trailer is somebody I've met before, and I'm a huge, huge fan of his work. He's an artist by the name of Alberto Mielgo. And he is like one of those like super genius artists, in my opinion. Like, you can't even explain how good he is. And he's most known for a few things. Like he had a short film that was nominated for an Academy Award, but he was the guy who came up with the original visual style for the Spider-Verse until there was all these politics and he left that production. But he was the one who set up that style and really broke that style for Spider-Verse, which is phenomenal. His artwork's all over the art of books for those. But he just recently directed a video for that video game Marathon. Like, I don't know if they just released a new game or something, but it came out and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so different and like crazy. And I'm not into that much animation currently. nothing super that excites me necessarily. But when I saw that, I was like, holy cow! Like, it was so different and crazy. And I'm curious to see if you guys had watched it, but I was thinking of like playing it on stream. But I don't know if I think it's one of those things where I'd have to like play a little bit and then stop it and talk, and or else it'll get copyright struck. I don't know how it works. I've only done that once, and I got struck that one time, and you guys helped me out of it. I think I was just showing a trailer from like... What was I showing a trailer from? Something. I didn't think it was a big deal. Oh, it was from Dick Tracy. I think that's what I was showing the Dick Tracy trailer. The old one. And then before I knew it, I got struck. I watched the marathon game reveal for a emblem for the game I'm playing now. Unfortunately, the game probably won't do good, someone says, because it's an extraction shooter, which aren't very popular. Also, the graphic style feels very beta. Unhinged says, sorry, I stepped away to let the dog out. Ooh, let the dog... Not really. I have a good number, but I'm not concerned about it much. Oh, you're talking about the... Oh, got you. I said hi to Patrick Ballesteros. Oh, Promiscuous Time Travel. What's up, man? I said hi to Patrick Ballesteros at WonderCon. He said to say hi and that he has heard of, remembers hearing of you. Probably because our last name is not... It's not the most common name, so when you find somebody else with a Ballesteros last name, usually sticks with you. So that's cool. Thanks for mentioning it, promiscuous time traveler. Thanks for bringing it up with him. That would be cool to meet him in the future. Let me just block in this Katang. Yeah, I'm curious how anybody else would responded to if you've seen that trailer. Like Awesome One, if you've seen that marathon trailer. What people think. I've seen mixed reactions. For me, it's just like the way that guy sees and designs is like crazy. I don't even know how he does it. But maybe it's not that popular in video game culture or something, or it's or common, but it's so different. It's like unlike anything else out there, really. Dang. This one's going to be complicated to ink. I can already feel it. This panel in particular. There's all sorts of brushstroke stuff going on. I believe Klaus Janson was the inker on all three of the pages that we were voting on for Frank Miller. And Klaus Janson obviously inked Frank on Dark Knight Returns, they often collaborated with each other. Dang. Rocky is infamous. Not fergalicious? No, definitely not. Not glamorous? No, no, no. What happens in the future? Does Jim Lee ever come back to X-Men? That's it. You're like an oracle, promiscuous time travel. We're just going to throw questions at you from the future. People don't trust current game developers because of too much bait and switch, saying it's one thing but release another. Yeah, I thought that third panel. I know it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters in one panel. I have Klaus's signature on my Dark Knight Return issues. Wow, that's awesome. I just like that page better. Yeah. No, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Got the placement of that pretty. Actually, I eyeballed the placement of that. Relatively accurate. Surprising. Cool. That's coming along. It's kind of weird to release a PvP game when they were terrible in maintaining their PvP in Destiny. See, this is all game talk I don't understand. I get it. Don't cause a paradox. Smart, cool name. Does Rocky become the president? Okay, don't tell me. Hey, what's up, Antoine Dennison? Long time no see. That technique you're using reminds me of the old traditional animation techniques, and that is where I ripped it off from. Yeah, just flipping the page. It helps me, like... It's really cool because it's like your eyeball takes a snapshot of this page, and when you look at it, and then you flip to the blank page, and you start seeing, like... where your mark is in relation to where the snapshot that you just took, the mental memory that you just took of this page. And so in animation, when you're flipping the pages like this, you know, the thing is, like, if you're doing a bouncing ball, you're remembering the position from before, and then you're moving it accordingly, however you want the ball to bounce. And oftentimes you're flipping with way more than just one page. It's at least 3 or 4 pages you're flipping, and you go back and forth, and you can kind of, when you flip it fast enough, it's like moving, it's just like taking a flip book and flipping the corners. But so yes, that's how I'm doing it. Just trying to get the placement right on the page for the main shapes. And some of them, when I just eyeballed it, I was pretty close, but some of them I'm not even close. Like this guy it's a tough one, this figure here, as I flip back and forth. And it also doesn't help that my page isn't taped down exactly well. So as I'm flipping, sometimes it's rotating like this, and then my mental picture is skewed a little bit, but we'll work it out. But it absolutely is from that technique. Kung Fu Master Rocky. Knew it. No tariffs on comics. It's a winner. It's a winner. There are no tariffs on comic books. Supposedly books. There's no tariffs on books. At least from China, I think, is my understanding. Like, they've had these blanket tariffs, and then now they're kind of backtracking what's included in those tariffs as part of the whatever negotiation or leverage, or I don't know all the politics in it or the economics in it, but they are kind of backtracking what's included in those tariffs, and I think books are not included in it now. So I don't know if that means printing will not be affected, and yeah, if you print, but that's with China, so I don't know how it is with other countries like Canada. Who knows? We've been told 25% in Australia. Yep. It's going to be different tomorrow. That's the only guarantee we have. I'm always here, Rocky, even when you don't see me, like Bubba in the prison shower. Scary. Scary. Don't drop soap. But that's cool. I appreciate that, Antoine Dennison. And always happy when you do pop in and in a non-creepy fashion. Fingers crossed that there is not. Yes, I think it seems like the pattern with most of the politics going on now is there's a lot of commotion, there's huge extreme statements or promises, and then you just got to sit and wait and see how it all shuffles out, as opposed to like overreacting on the first thing that's mentioned. And I think, good and bad, it's like chaotic and it's kind of ruffling a lot of feathers. But at the end of the day, how, the question I always ask myself is like, how is this affecting my everyday? And how much of this is going to shake out and shift within the next week or so. But yeah. And then you also have to ask yourself, like, how much can I really control and do anything to control any of this? How much of it's out of my control, and I just gotta like take care of my own business, take care of the people that are in my circle, the relationships that I have, the work I need to get done, the responsibilities I need to get done. I can't solve the war in Ukraine or the tariffs in China. Like I can't. Are prices going to go up? Probably. But, we survived the cost of eggs going up, toilet paper being sparse. We survived. We did not die when we could not find toilet paper. And nobody has explained that to me yet, why that happened. So yeah, I think it's okay. Could get hit by a bus tomorrow too, so I'm not going to worry about tariffs. I think I shared with you guys, like, I like tweaked my back picking up my cat the other day. Stupid, embarrassing. But then I went biking with my friend Marty. I've talked about Marty. You guys have met Marty before. And I went biking with him the other day, and they just recently closed off this huge stretch of highway that goes by the beach. It's called the Great Highway. They closed it off. It was voted to close off and like turn it more into like a walking, biking area. A lot of controversy with that, but whatever. It got voted on, and they did that. And one of the things they did was they recently added like these bike ramps there and these like sculptures and these art installations or whatever. And I saw these bike ramps with my friend Marty, and I was like, oh, look at these bike ramps. And they weren't that complicated. They just like, wooden ramps you go up. They have some humps and some more slanty than others. And I was like, I can do that. And I went on a couple, and then I totally wiped out on one of them. It sucks getting older. So I like wiped out. Fortunately, didn't break anything except my bike a little bit. But it's funny because actually the part of my back that I tweaked out picking up my cat actually feels much better after I wiped out. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it stretched it out for me, inadvertently stretched it out, or what, or it's gonna come back and I'm gonna like not be able to walk. Just one of those things. All right, I think we're close to calling it a night. Oops, sorry, calling it a night. I could work on this hand placement a little bit. Let's see. Soap tariffs. I'm gonna head off. Have a great night. I'll see you later. Unhinged. See you, Jason. Thanks for stopping in. I don't believe you because you missed me saying that exact same observation I gave to Rocky about the animation stuff. Trump is a negotiator, not a politician, thankfully, because they've been all corrupt past. Yeah, he's for sure a negotiator. For sure. The funny thing is like, he's pretty forthright with what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. And everybody's like, oh my God, like they're just freaking out. And I'm like, didn't he say he was going to do this? Like, isn't this kind of what he said he was going to do? Why are you guys so surprised? So yeah, art of the deal. That's what they all say. I guess it'll work out. Yeah, maybe focusing on my own life and those around me is best. I think so. Like, we can only control what we can control. Yes, you can vote. Yes, you can, express yourself about certain politics or ideology. But at the end of the day, you only can really control yourself and maybe, well, that's about it. You can only control yourself, and you can only impact a small sphere of people around you. Good and bad. Good and bad. And we just got to focus on doing that well to start, and then worry about the bigger things. Like I got to make sure I'm like being a good husband, and a good dad, and more so than any of these things first. I love this exaggeration, this foreshortening exaggeration is really cool. Ah, look at how bad that. All right. Nobody's explained why toilet paper costs went up or why people purchased. I think just the like craze of the toilet paper. I mean, I get it, the like supply and demand, but I was like, why? This has nothing to do with COVID. Like, what the? Why? It's not like COVID created everybody to have like massive diarrhea or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, what? Why is this happening? But then you just get caught up in the craze and the fervor and the like freak out, and then next thing you know, you're like staying up late night waiting for Amazon to have availability of toilet paper. Buses definitely have 25% tariff. People knew that there was enough food which could be produced and they could live off of canned foods and other foods for a long amount of time. However, toilet paper is a necessity. I guess. Don't think of buying any Switch 2 consoles or games in the near future during this tariff Cold War. $80 for a game is too rich for my blood. I find like, I think that's probably why I never got into, I mean, I don't know what the average cost of video games, but I always assumed it was like $60 to $70. So, yeah. Art, many alternatives out there in vegetable. Oh, wait. And there are many alternatives out there, and vegetable and fruit growth is faster, but toilet paper and trees takes a while. People didn't know if there would be steady inflow of it, so they bulk bought. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the taking less physical risks as you get older is probably the smart thing to do. I think you get to my age and you're like, I could still do that, right? Like, that's not that steep of a ramp. And I was like my sense of balance was messed up. Trust and obey, for there is no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. I know that song. Bidets are more, you know, they are. Although I've never liked the idea of bidets. So I would just walk in a shower and do it. Not, yeah. But you would save, on paper. It does have to do with COVID. Paper products take more processing than food, essential food, and therefore if there's a kink in the supply, I guess, I don't know. I guess. Tammy D, what's up, Tammy D? Hey, thanks for stopping in here. It was $20 when went on sale, about $50 for about a decade, then up to $60 or $70 last couple for games. Yeah. It's too much. But I guess the amount of hours that you can enjoy a game maybe even out on that. But then on top of the games, don't you have to pay like subscription for online service or whatever, like a regular ongoing subscription, whether that's with Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever, so that adds to the cost. Yeah, plus once people realize that there was a rush on toilet paper, that creates panic buying. That's it, the panic buying. Other people feeling there's a short. I mean, the same thing happened with eggs. Now eggs are like, well, there's lots of eggs now. Maybe they'll go back up. I don't know. But that was it. Like, I could feel it. I was like, is this the new toilet paper? Buying eggs? Is this it? I'm like, well, we just won't eat as many eggs then. I guess toilet paper, you do have to wipe your butt on a regular basis. But that just was so bizarre. That whole time was so bizarre. Everybody's saying hello to Tammy D. How are you doing, Tammy D? So I think I'm close to hitting a pause on this. I mean, we're not anywhere near done with penciling. Maybe I guess I could tighten up a little bit on. Right. I convinced myself. I'm gonna tighten up a little bit on this middle panel. But I wasn't thinking I was gonna finish pencils for this today. Usually pencils are a 1 to 2 stream thing. Usually 2 streams. And then if I have anything else left to finish, let me get some tape here. Just pull this out too. This is the book that it came from. Yeah, let's flip through some pages here. So good. Sorry, I'm just kind of like, I'm just staring at these pages. I love the coloring in this too. It's really simple and it just works. Like, you don't need to go any more than what they did on the coloring here. That's great. What a great Daredevil drawing. Let me get to the page. Okay, so yeah, this is the page we're doing. This is the moment leading up to it. He like goes all the way up. Daredevil goes in the house. Hear him just with sound effects beating up people. I love this. This is so brilliant. See, this is the stuff that I love that Frank Miller does. It's just so smart and like just using storytelling, but like we get this feeling like he's climbing upstairs. First, he is climbing upstairs here, but then here to here to here. And then instead of continuing, you know, just adding more panels here, he drops down here the same panel. So it's like a beat. It's silent. And because he just goes straight down here, as opposed to like right there, taking this panel and moving it here and, you know, filling this in. It's like we feel like we're at the top floor. There's something like about that visual panel layout that keeps us at the top floor. Then this guy's just waiting, and the thing that changes, the only thing that changes in these panels is his cigarette burns down. So it gives us a sense of time passing. It's great. beat, beat, time pass, time pass. Then Daredevil just comes crashing out of the window. You see Elektra looking at him. So cool. Then they just like running around the city fighting each other. It's really dramatic. It's great stuff. Yeah. So good. This face. I was considering putting this page up to vote on too because I love that face. I love the inks too on that nose. It's like a sketchy quality. Klaus Jensen does that great. Classic. It's awesome. We've also had a greater amount of inflation over the last 20 years. Eggs is the new... I know, right? Hashtag eggs. It seems like every hero has a love interest who is less moral and more sexually liberated. Catwoman, Black Cat, Elektra. It's a good formula, you know. I think that's that, like the temptress or the seductress. Something that will make the hero in this case like cross the line of morality. It's great. I mean, it's like kind of the tried and true formula for a hero to sway, right? Inflation that never should have been, especially in the past 4 years, because that's oh boy, don't get us started. Men are usually tempted by women. Samson and Delilah, there you go, all the way back to the Bible. That's right. David and Bathsheba, Adam and Eve, almost 1 out of 2 men afterwards. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it's like a relatable thing, right? It's a relatable story point. Motivation. It's like, oh, Elektra died? Okay, let's add another woman here. Black Widow. Talk about seductress and deadly. This book is so good. All right, let me I'm just gonna flesh out this middle face a little bit more, and then we'll call it for tonight. I got a little bit left in the tank. Thank you guys for joining me. Next stream will will happen this Wednesday, as I always do, my Wednesday comic stream. I don't know what's coming out. Not sure what's coming out this week. Last week there was quite a few books. We went through a few books on stream because a lot came out during the week, and a lot of good stuff came out. So I'm not sure what is coming out this week, but I do have one unboxing, one package that I got today that I will open up on stream on Wednesday, and it's in a Gemini mailer, so it's got to be a comic book. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. So that'll be fun. And men like dangerous, passionate. Women. Yes, they do. They do. Jezebel and Ahab. Mm-hmm. Chat is tempted by chat women. Oh my gosh. When you think about it, Cleopatra and Mark Antony, yes. Those red pages are gorgeous. Awesome one is attempted by Burger and Ravioli. Got it. Prince Harry and what's her face? Meghan Markle. Oh man. I don't know about that girl. Sorry, I feel like I realize I'm flipping this right at camera, so it's making it like freak out. It's funny, it's like the eyes are such a tricky thing to get them right. A lot has to do with the placement of the highlight, because that gives us a sense of directionality, and I'm not getting it right now. But it just made me think also, like, there was a point in time with the in animation with the Pixar films where they got really good at people always were wondering, like, wow, how come like their characters, like, connect with their characters, they feel so real. And I remember somebody telling me that one of the things they found out with the eyes on their characters was when they made them, because it was computer animation, so they could be very precise with the direction that characters were looking, right? It's not like a flick of the wrist or an incorrect placement of a pupil in animation when you're drawing it could mess you up, because when you're doing it in computer animation, it's all precise. It's, you could dial in the exact location or number, or mathematical number to make the eye direction be wherever you need it to be, or pointing, at a particular object or whatever. And somebody told me that, like, when they did it exactly like the way your eyes were supposed to stare at somebody, it looked like their characters were always slightly like looking off or past where they were supposed to, like they weren't connecting. And so a trick that they found that they did was they would make their characters look slightly cross-eyed, and for some odd reason that felt like the characters were more alive or looking directly at whatever object or subject that they were supposed to be looking at. So then, which is awesome, and it worked, but then he's just started noticing, like, you could pick it out everywhere. When you would look at the characters, you're like, oh, they're slightly cross-eyed. And then they would do like the Pixar blink. They would offset the blink, so instead of like blinking both eyes at the same time, they would do this like slightly offset by a couple frames. But then they just kept doing that over and over again, and became a joke after a while. But yeah, eyes are tough, especially directionality with eyes is really tough to get right. But like this drawing right here, she looks like she's staring right at us. So that'll be important for me to capture, and I'm not getting it right now. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe not tonight, but we'll figure it out. Sorry, page is so big, I'm like hitting the camera, hitting the microphone. One day I'll get a camera that I can easily adjust, zoom in and out easier, but right now it's like, once it's set, it's like I can't move it without it being a hassle. One day. Totally looking at us right now. She's looking a little to my left. All right, it's getting there. Haven't been to a comic shop in 7 years. Oof, that would be like painful for me. Awesome one. If I couldn't get to a comic shop in 7 years, that would be painful. Johnny Depp and the Poop Lady. Must have missed that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like the real Johnny Depp and his former. Yeah, gotcha. Page turning ASMR. Meghan Markle, I think. Yes. Today I had the burger and ravioli. Markle ruined his life. No kidding. You have to be a special kind of boy to forego your royal inheritance for some mouthy broad. Yeah, that was not the best move for poor old Harry. Then again, women have been taught that ruining men's life is how to climb the corporate ladder. Yep. I don't think he was just the victim in that. To become a eunuch instead of a king, the story of Harry. He must have Oh my gosh. Well, he apparently felt like he was never going to be king and was just there for spare organs. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what. It's funny. I've seen some videos about her show, I guess she has on Netflix. People making fun of that show. It's like a total bomb where she's trying to be quote unquote normal and relatable, but it's obviously that she's not. So yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Weird marriage. Yeah. Adam gave away Eden for the approval of his wife. God, however, was not impressed with his simpery. Dropping it. Gotta go, dude. Haru, again, thanks for the chat and great art. Thanks, Jeffrey Beats. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for stopping by. Man will eat by the sweat of his brow. The ground will produce thorns, and he'll return to dust from whence he was made. Yeah. Toil with the ground. Because of our poor choices, or man's poor choices, I should say. But I think if we were all in the same position, I think we are not above making poor choices. That cost us a lot. That's kind of human nature. As Mr. Daredevil here, Mr. Murdoch here does too. Did make some good choices. All right, folks, I think we're gonna stop here. We got some good progress here, got some good blocking in here. I'm sure once I look at this with fresh eyes tomorrow, I'm gonna want to correct it all. But we did make some progress, which is awesome, and got cracking on this page. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good one. And man, once we start hitting this with ink, it's gonna really sing. So good. Really fun to get it started. At least it's always that first step is always the hardest to get going on a drawing, but we did it. We cracked into it. Half these chats, someone's simping for the girls. Hey, what's up, Zaid? We're about to end it here, but thank you for coming in. How you doing? Toil until death. Bad choices. Everybody makes bad. We do. K-pop does not make bad choices, though. She's on it. She's totally on top of it. The woman will desire her husband, and yet he shall rule over her. The Lord said to Cain, sin is at the door, and it desires you, but you are to rule over it. That's easier said than done. Easier said than done. Drink something for that cough or something. Southing for that cough or something. I will. I think my, I can't remember what time I drank cough medicine, but it was probably around 8. So I'm due for the next dose right before I go to bed. Yep, Phil's coming in for the end. No comment. Looks like it's coming along. Thank you, Cranberry Rangers. Thank you guys all for stopping in and joining me for the first crack at Frank Miller of the 80s, Daredevil. Getting the page to this point, which will be great. I'm looking forward to it. I don't. We'll see. We'll see if we can get another draw stream in this week, possibly. But for sure, I will catch you guys on Wednesday for my Wednesday comics. The usual fare, but hopefully some good stuff hopefully some good stuff coming out this Wednesday. I will find out tomorrow as I watch my usual streams and my normal news sources of what is coming out. But there we go. There we go. Master Study 1 in the can. All right, everybody. Oh, we're not shooting the fat anymore. Why'd that come back on? Get out of here. All right, everybody. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for coming here. If you haven't already, hit the like. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Anything else? I think that's it. That was a good one. All right. Catch you later. Catch you on Wednesday. Have a good evening. Ciao.